Keep forgetting about it. I've got so many of them on my PC. I can't. It's just I've got a ton of them. Waiting for broadcast to be published.
It is live.
Are we now? Seriously? Are we really live? Ooh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. What are we doing? Oh, yeah, we got that fucking podcast thing, don't we?
Well, you know.
Okay, well,
Podcast thing. What are you talking about?
Yeah, Mooch requested it, so here we go.
Fuck it all, fuck it all.
And sadly, you guys can't hear it.
I bet it's amazing.
Sounds great. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Wednesday night, 8 o'clock. It's Gaming Beyond the Box. And in true to my word, tonight's episode is called The Meaning of Life because Terry Jones did pass away last night. And if you don't know who Terry Jones is, you had a pretty sad childhood, folks, because he was part of the Monty Python comedy troupe. If you have never watched The Meaning of Life, The Life of Brian, Monty Python's Flying Circus, I recommend after this podcast, you should go tune in and watch a couple.
Holy Grail for the win.
Holy Grail. There's nothing worse than getting hit with a holy hand grenade.
I fart in your general direction.
That's right. You can hear all about the European swallows and all that great stuff. But welcome, everybody. So we've got a lot of shit to cover, man. There is a ton of gaming news coming out. We're here to sort through the conspiracy theories and basically give you our opinions. That's it. We'll make you laugh. We'll make you cry. And fuck it. If you don't like it, there's other podcasts on Wednesday nights. So let's do the intros. Let's get this bitch started. And we will start with Fort Boy. What's going on, Fort?
Hey, glad to be here. Can't wait to get into everything. There is a lot of stuff that Wilmy put out. Just a lot of stuff that's happened in the last week. But looking forward to going over it. Looking forward to talking to you guys. Excited to be here. And in Noof's fashion, since he's not here, boom, boom, kaboom will be here tonight too. So, yeah, excited to be here.
Yep, Noof actually messaged me. He is trying to get home from work, but he will strip down naked and get on his microphone as soon as he gets home. I don't know why he included the strip down naked part.
That excites me.
That was a little weird. Well, it excites me.
Put that in the text.
That's classic No Chills Noof.
That's it.
Oh man.
Yes.
All right, and we've got
I gotta get
HR
out my hand
Bomber
grenade.
without his sister. What's going on, Bomber?
Yo, what's going on? You know, it's been a rough week. Freaking got my back destroyed apparently 2 nights ago and have not been the same since. It's just freaking every time I move, it just wants to lock up. But other than that, man, some gaming news out of this world this week, which is pretty amazing and some really cool things that have happened. So I just can't wait till we can get into it and stuff. So definitely ready for it.
All right, and we've got Leo. What's up, Leo?
Oh, nothing much, man. Just been playing Destiny like crazy. Thanks for everyone that showed up.
I feel bad for you on that one.
Why?
'Cause
I
you're
actually
playing
enjoy
Destiny. Okay. well,
Yeah, there's
Oh.
so many other better
And
things
there's
to
also-
play. Like
I got my
Like-
first raid done yesterday with the clan.
And there are also
Nice.
people that enjoy beating themselves in the nuts with hammers. So
Well, I
there's
don't. That's Anthem.
Yeah, that's true.
the
And-
Untitled Goose Game is way better than that.
I couldn't get into it.
It's fun.
It was fun dicking around with the people, but it didn't last long for me.
And that's what she said. All right, anyway, and we've got...
We got a comedian over here, eh?
Yes, we do. And we've got the man himself, the one, the only Mooch.
Hey, buddy. Outstanding show already. Listen, great panel you assembled here, too. Good to first time hanging out, Obi-Wan. Good to have Noof back. Great to have the Fork crew here, as well as Wilmy and the gang. Guys, there's a lot to talk about, and to be honest with you, it's been interesting, right? I mean, it's been a lot of left and right all day today on Twitter, and I'm kind of excited to see how you pitch it, Wilmy, because I don't know how you stand on certain topics. And as much as I'm on the show,
Usually
I
it's on
can't
my
wait
feet,
to actually
man.
be... What's that?
Usually on my 2 feet. That's where I try
Well,
to do it.
that's always a good way to start.
Yeah,
Okay.
it helps.
But there's nothing wrong with 1 foot and hobbling a bit. It's nothing wrong with that. And I want to see where your opinion kind of lays as we move forward. So thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Oh, dude, I've been on Crossfire a few times now, so yeah, I had to get you on here at some point.
Much appreciated, brother.
So, and we've got Obi. What's up, Obi?
Oh, not much, man. Finally back to work. So it feels kind of good back to work. Daughter's all healed up from the accident last week. Played a lot of games last week. But you'll be proud of me since I held true to my promise since you played Assassin's Creed. I've been playing the hell out of Doom, and I'm actually liking it now that I just sat and played it. And the soundtrack for it, I think, is badass. So
Doom is
the
amazing.
soundtrack's so good.
yeah, I'm actually playing it on xCloud right now. I'm up here in the bedroom. But other than that, I'm excited for the topics.
They played the soundtrack live at Game Awards one year. I can't remember which one.
And see, we've got Ghost, who's going to be late, and I really don't want to talk about Doom Eternal without Ghost. I feel like he may get upset. So
maybe a little bit.
yeah. So which topic you want to guys jump in on first? Mooch, you're the guest. You pick one, man. Let's go from there.
Wait, what was that, Leonidas? What did you say?
That wasn't me.
That's me. No, go ahead, Mooch.
No, honestly, I would on the topic I can't wait to get into, and if the audience wants to kind of shuffle in a bit and you want to wait, let me know, Wilmy. But kind of want to get into the leaked Xbox One, the Xbox Series X.
Yeah,
that came out today, and get everybody's opinions on it. To be honest,
let's do it.
I mean, at the end of the day, does it matter? I mean,
no.
I guess not to you, Mooch, but I mean, I guess to me is like someone showed a picture, so it's like, okay, yeah, it's out there, and people are throwing a huge fit of, no, it's fake. It's like, okay, I mean, Phil Spencer said he's been playing it at his house.
Even if they're going to be able to figure out whose it was too with that serial number. Right?
Oh yeah, exactly. The serial number's going to track him
that
down.
That was not the smartest of ideas.
That was a fail.
And apparently it's out of warranty as well, because I was going to do what I saw somebody post on there, because I was actually going to put it on to my account and just see what it said with the warranty. But it said it was out. Well, somebody already did it, and it said it was out of warranty. But no, I think it's kind of interesting. To me, it's a very interesting thing, because honestly, I didn't think a retail prototype would be in the homes of whoever this person is. I thought, a dev kit would be, but I wouldn't think the dev kit would look like a prototype, which I don't think it is. I don't think that is the dev kit, but don't know. I mean, it could be. It could be literally, since they already had the concept, because we saw it, December, whenever the awards were.
The Game Awards, yeah. I think, the one thing that I kind of take from it is that, it's like you just said, it doesn't truly matter in the first place, because we saw what it was. Xbox already presented it, so leaked really doesn't really hold the stature of other leaks. But the one thing that kind of took me by surprise was that I was a little bummed that the HDMI in isn't there. I've grown, and I have to explain this to people, because people go, why? What's the difference? Well,
I'm with you on this one.
There's a huge difference. And the reason being is that I've become accustomed to using that as my TV source. And what that did is it kept me connected to the community. People would send me messages. I'm not saying that everybody likes this, but I did. I enjoyed getting a message, even if I was watching a sitcom or a show, right? Hey, Mooch, what do you think about this? And I would actually go into the chat, start a conversation, and maybe even though it prompted me on the TV, it caught my attention, then I would go to the phone or answer right there through the UI. And that not being there after Xbox kind of implemented that, into their Xbox One and saying that all devices are coming with us, that was kind of a bit of a downer. The other thing about it is that, and I'm interested to hear what the panel thinks here, is I currently have my Xbox One X, 2 of them. I have them in my entertainment centers, and the way that one is positioned, I will be able to use it horizontally in the one downstairs, but the one upstairs, I'm going to have to just kind of place my Xbox Series X on the side of my where I have a piece of furniture and a TV on top. I'll have to put that on the side, because where it currently would hold a console, in air quotes, this new Series X on its horizontal is going to be too large to fit into that slot, or it would look ridiculous kind of jammed in there, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So,
I get you.
There's a few things that
Oversized.
and I understand. Don't get me wrong. I was one of the first ones to say I kind of dig. I like the idea that they said, "Hey, listen, we're going to emphasize our engineering on the inside of the box, not so much the outside." And I think that's going to hold water. But I pose the question to the panel and to the chat: is what's going to happen if not when, but if, because we may see the same thing happen on Sony's side. If Sony comes out with this sleek box, right, that still fits horizontally the way we were accustomed to seeing a console look, that's when you're going to take a look at the one next to it. And it's the same thing that happened in 2013. I feel like we're going to have a rerun episode of Xbox came out with a big, back then they called it a VCR box. Now they're calling this a cinder block. And then you're going to have the PS4, which came out with a design and made it sleeker and this and that. Now, the Pro, I think Sony completely flubbed that. That looks terrible. But the initial PS4 versus the initial Xbox One, you guys know, you were all there for that. I don't have to rehash it. I'm afraid if Sony comes out with this sleek design, that it's going to then make the cinder block, the Series X look a little bit more, unusual in your current day entertainment center or the way you set up your living room or family room area. So that was the one thing. I was kind of hoping that when we got to the production level, we were going to see the edges be curved, because Apple did this with an Airport Extreme, and I know Wilmie's not a fan, but they did an Airport Extreme ages ago, okay? And it's very similar to the Xbox Series X, but they had curved edges, curved round top, and it looked elegant and clean. This is legitimately, a rectangle. It's literally geometry class again. Prove this is a rectangle. You're like, okay, I'll do that. They really just said, hey, you know what? Let's worry about the engineering in the box. Just literally give me a box. And coming from a company that's the second or third largest in the world, if not the first at times, they all rotate the first, top three. And they have the Surface, and they have that team, and they came out with something as glorious as the X. I mean, just, guys, taking that all into account, if those are the deck of cards you have in your hand, do you think we would have got something besides a rectangle? I thought we could, it just seems like that's a very, very simplistic and very elementary design.
I think, like you were saying, for hardware-wise, thing was built to stay cool. And that was the most important thing about it, is being built to stay cool and quiet. And I'm sorry, but if the PS5 is not big in some way, shape, or form like this, with as rumored as how clocked that CPU is, if it's going to be super clocked high, those AMD chips are going to produce a lot of heat. And so if it's sleek and small, you can expect it to sound like a goddamn turbo engine like the last two consoles.
Well, one of the things they said, Obi-Wan, though, was that this one, one of the emphasis at Sony was they heard the complaints. This one will be extremely quiet. So they've already come out and said that this one will be quiet. So now you're right. If they're overclocking and making changes last minute, that can alter what they quoted a while back. But they're aware of how annoyed I think that their customer and fan base is. That it is a loud machine. The PS4, especially the PS4 vanilla, if you will, was ungodly loud. The Pro's loud, but my God, that original one, I mean, you almost had to make sure it wasn't floating or taking off. That was pretty bad.
Xbox One X run quiet?
I would just I would just hope for longevity of the life of a console that they would be somewhat bigger than what their current form factors are to help it to stay cool. I mean, because nobody. Well,
here's the thing, though, Obi-Wan. So listen, I see where you're coming from, but that sounds parental, right? Like, I hope Here's the thing: we're the consumer. Like, they should be doing this and trying to give us the best design possible. Like, let me put it this way: when you're going to, you see all the positive reviews for the Surface. Part of the reason the Surface has entered into Apple's space is because of that sleek design. They could have just went and built a disgusting old-fashioned 1998 thick box for the Surface and be like, it's the most powerful Surface we've ever made. And you'd be like, it looks like shit. So what I'm saying to you is part of what goes into things moving forward as we progress is, yes, the technology, keeping it cool, etc., etc. You nailed everything, actually, Obi-Wan. You nailed it. But the other part of it is also, remember, the same reason that the iPhone or your favorite Samsung phone or the PS4 or the Xbox One X, these are things that are in your living room. These are things that represent the Xbox brand. So you do want it to look as best as possible. I mean, that would be, again, this is if I'm in leadership. I would say, listen, we do have to take heat into consideration. And if verticality is the way to go, well, you know what? I'm with you, Obi-Wan. But we could make it vertical with rounded edges, clean it up a little bit, give it a little bit of a design, like Apple did with their big tower for an Airport Extreme.
How expensive is that thing, by the way? I can't remember. What was the price on that?
Oh,
I think it was $300.
Or for their desktop?
I'm talking about the Airport Extreme. It's just a router Wi-Fi.
That's a router.
Yeah. I mean, it was about $250, $300 back when it first came out. But my point being is, like, I'm only talking about the aesthetics. And you might say the aesthetics don't matter. And don't get me wrong, to a certain extent,
they do matter.
They don't. But I think, right, well,
they don't matter.
Well, I mean, I think they do. I mean, I set up me and Wilmy have definitely shared pictures of our office setup and how things look. And people are always putting pictures of their office setup out there on Twitter. Everyone's like, yo, nice office setup, right? Nice gaming setup. Well, it's like, you can't say that and then be like, well, I don't really give a shit.
Well, you know what I've started doing?
Well,
I've actually
that,
started
so
tucking
really
my consoles behind my flat screens.
Right. Well, and then that's in my office. That's what I'm doing with the Series X. I'll probably have it either behind or tucked next to the tower.
That's what I had to
But
do.
it'll look fine. That'll look fine in the office. I think it's great for office use. I think it's questionable for people's entertainment centers. And I know people say, "Oh, who cares? It doesn't matter." I don't think it'll impact a buy, but it's curious to me when we see this thing out in the wild that it legitimately is just this rectangle. But other than that, I got to be honest with you. It's the HDMI in that I really, truly, I think will miss.
I really hope they don't take that out because I'm like you on that one. I get a lot of messages going, well, every time I see you online, you're watching TV. That's because my cable box is directly plugged into my Xbox. It always has been.
This just in, people watch TV.
Well,
figure that one out.
And the
Don't you lie to us, Mooch.
TV's great, too, man. A lot of cable providers, not everything is 4K that they put out.
That's right, too.
I have Spectrum. Their strongest signal is 1080. The Xbox X actually scales it up.
Absolutely. It looks fantastic. It looks and sounds better through the X. It absolutely does.
Yeah, all day.
But doesn't your TV automatically upscale anything that's on it? Because if it didn't, it technically wouldn't fill up the whole
It's
screen.
hard to explain, though, Obi-Wan. What comes out of the X, I'm telling you right now, the other day I was just watching, because I have a splitter in the back, HDMI splitter. So I have the opportunity to not have to have the Xbox on to watch TV. I can watch it through. And when I'm watching it through on the TV, it looked good. Like you say, it does that automatically. The minute I put the football game on this past weekend and I throw it on through the X, looks better, sounds better, just an overall great experience. And, after seeing these last leaks, I got to be, and Wilmy, I'll be honest with you, I think even, and I don't want to put words in Jez's mouth, I believe even Jez said that had a strong rumor. There's a lot of rumors floating around. Last strong rumor was that the HDMI in is no longer there, which kind of stinks because, I mean, an HDMI in port at the magnitude that they're buying them is like $5, $7, $8. I mean, if I'm wrong, 12.
But maybe it also goes with the fact that a lot of companies not a lot of companies, but a lot of people are now cutting the cord. They're no longer using cable. They're now using Netflix.
There's a lot of options that are coming on both of these new consoles, Fourth Boy, that not everybody's using.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Verizon and Spectrum are going out of business anytime soon.
No, but it's one of those things you can't appeal to everybody, so it's easier just to functionality. What do we want to aim at?
That's true.
They could release another console later on with it, but at the end of the day, I mean, it being released, it kind of goes back to people are like, oh, well, it could be a dev kit, and it's like, it's like what Phil Spencer said. We're no longer creating generations; we're just upgrading consoles. So it's like, okay, well, that could be exactly what we're getting because the architecture is already there. It's just an Xbox. It's just better graphics and everything.
Hey, Wilmy, just a quick question for you. There's people saying, is this thing on? I don't know if we're live. Are we live?
No, we're live.
Yeah, we're live.
Just double checking because there's a couple people saying, is this thing on? Is this thing working? And I'm wondering if the show
Well, I made the mistake of just going straight to Wilmy. So you actually need to make sure you're on Gaming Beyond the Box, the live part.
Okay, I will double check.
But
I'm live? Oh, God. That's good to know I'm not dead.
Wilmy?
Well, see, like, I think overall, like, especially the HDMI in, for one, if it is gone, okay. I mean, Microsoft knows, the Xbox tells them if something's ever plugged into the HDMI, in my personal opinion. That's how they find out their statistics of who actually uses it, if it's actually being used for cable purposes or if it's used for just pass-through like another console or something of that nature. And I used to use it until I cut the cord and no longer use cable. Everything's all streaming. So now I don't want to have my Xbox on just so I can play my PlayStation. So I just have them plugging back on the TV. So so that's how I kind of like, I don't really care if the HDMI is in, but I also care about other people and like, hey, I know a lot of people use it and I would think that'd be a great option.
Well,
and plus they could take in that big old like debugging port that's on the back. I mean, that once that's taken out, that either could be extra USB
That's
ports,
right.
I would suggest, or the HDMI in, or at least one extra USB and then the HDMI in. But
I like what you just said though. That made a lot of sense, and it goes down. I think we were talking about just before the show went live. Like myself personally, I don't use things like Spotify, while I'm gaming and things like that. But that doesn't mean that I don't think that shouldn't be an option for gamers if they like to listen to their Spotify or their favorite tunes while they're gaming, right? So that's the whole thing. Is like, and that deal that cost Microsoft money. You got to cut a deal with Spotify. That wasn't free. So, I mean, that's a great point that, like, I think as many options as we can get in there that don't bog down the performance of gaming, which neither of these subjects do, should be left in there.
Me personally, I've never used it, but my parents have 3 Xboxes in their house, and they use it for every single one of them with their DirecTV boxes. So I could just hear my stepdad now bitching that they're getting rid of it.
Let me do this real quick. Thank you, Sin, for the $4.99 super chat. Says it's his first time here listening to Gaming Beyond the Box, recommended by Mooch. Yeah, we've heard of that guy. Hit the like button.
He's a douche. Oh, yeah, he's a great guy.
Oh, damn, he's on the panel. Damn.
Shout out to Sin Vendetta. Sin Vendetta is an outstanding. By the way, just a little tidbit, Wilmy. Dude is an absolute guru in the Souls category. So if there's ever a Souls episode, that's the man. He actually, when Sekiro first came out, I had him join me on Twitch stream. And what was great about it was he had barely played a bit of it. So it was nice to actually catch a Souls guru slightly off of his, you know what I mean? It's like catching a professor on a book he didn't read yet. Great. Right. But yeah, no, shout out to Sin. Great to have him here.
But
thanks for the super chat.
But talking about that cord cutting thing, I tried that route 3 years ago. And the sad irony is cable companies are getting smart that people are doing that, because I'm not joking. All the different subscriptions we subscribe
Thank
to
you. Preach.
cost me more than my cable box.
I love when everybody's like, Mooch, you're wrong. And then 6 months later, like, well, he kind of was right, but let's move on from it. Okay, listen.
What do you subscribe to,
I mean,
man?
the first one I signed on for was PlayStation View. And I really liked the PlayStation View setup. You know, they had a lot of the shows and stuff that my wife watched. Me, I watch like 3 channels. I'm good, and I don't watch them that often. But, we still had, our youngest daughter was still living at home then too. But then they kept upping the price of PlayStation View. When I got ready to cancel it, I was sent an email from PlayStation and told me that the monthly fee was going to go up to $125. And that was for like 40 channels. And I'm like, what? No. And then we had, what's the one with the stupid ass commercials? Sling. We had Sling. We had so many of them, man. And my bill for all these subscriptions was over $600 per month. And I called Spectrum back up, and I'm like, hey, I've got gig internet through you guys. How much are you going to charge me for cable? Oh, sir, we can add it right in for like $198 a month. Let's do it. Yeah. Because all these subscriptions, man, it's like. And I'm gonna
adds up quick.
Noof's not here to say it, because he will when he gets here. These subscriptions do sort of add up.
Oh yeah, I mean, me and my wife, we cut the cord on the fact that I went through and every year I just buy her TV shows that she likes watching.
See, I've been doing that too, and people pick on me because I tell everybody on my Xbox, and I can put up screenshots if anybody wants to see it. I have over 5,000 movies and TV shows.
Yeah, like I'll buy her seasons and they'll be $40, $45. She only watches about 12 shows a year. So when you figure that out, it's a little over about $500-$600, which people are like $500-$600. Yeah, $500-$600 divided by 12. That comes out to be like $50 a month. So
see, my family has this thing where we try to help each other out. Like my grandpa pays for Netflix, I pay for Hulu, my parents pay for HBO, my brother pays for Sling or whatever. I mean, we try to break it up because you can have multiple users, but we try to break it up towards one big community of
That's pretty cool.
subscriptions.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. And because for me, it took me forever because I worked for AT&T for 10 years, so I had really inexpensive TV and internet. So of course I had TV then. And then once I left them, I have to pay for shit. So I was like, I'm not going to pay $300 for TV anymore. So now I pay at most with all subscriptions, probably $60 for TV, and then my internet $75. So it kind of evens out. I mean, depending on what you want. I mean, there's so many things like PlayStation Now. Since they got rid of View, now they partnered up with YouTube TV, so now you have YouTube TV for $50 a month. I mean, there's so much that you can go to now that's just purely streaming. But I mean, there's still DirecTV, there's still Dish, there's still Spectrum, there's still Cox, there's still, all Verizon. I mean, there's so many, depending on where you live, still wired in TV companies that, hey, pass through still very nice, especially when you're like, you want to watch something, then you want to go straight to gaming. You gotta switch to freaking input. So
Yeah, in my area we got 3, one local, and then not Comcast, but Spectrum and AT&T.
yeah,
And the AT&T is more recent. They just put that in around 2 years ago.
I wish that Snap mode for Netflix was available to be able to just have a little Netflix player while you're still gaming.
I just wish Snap was actually still a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have noticed too. A lot of channels now are offering subscriptions.
Oh,
outside
dude,
of cable.
CBS.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
look, to watch the new freaking Star
Trek.
Trek or whatever with
card.
the card. You have to pay a monthly subscription because they won't put it on regular basic cable because they know their basic cable subscriptions went down. So to help pay for all this, you have to subscribe, and it's kind of like it sucks, but it's like you understand it, but then you don't because my experience with it all is that these TV companies just charge out the wazoo to have their network on whatever platform you are, whether you're DirecTV, Spectrum, whatever. It costs so much, and that's why these TV companies drop them all the time and then re-add them, and their contracts are up. So that's why the whole streaming thing is why it's catching on so easily. Because look, $5 a month, and you get all this access to.
The only thing that sucks around here is your mama. If you smell of the new fish cooking.
no.
Boom, boom, yo, boom.
Did you guys not notice he put it in the chat? He was in the waiting room.
Yeah, I saw that.
No, the way mine's set up, I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
So we got the man here that loves all subscription-based services, Noof Nukem.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, baby. Fucking sign me up. Yeah, I'm on that thing like a dog on a biscuit. Yeah, no, never mind. Pass. Only kind of
He's all about that digital.
Putting Subway, baby. That's it.
He hates physical anything.
I was going to say that.
I need to feel it. I need to touch it, man. Like I'm saying, that's how I roll.
Just like that hooker.
Touch it. Let's hashtag that shit in the chat. Touch it. Let's go.
Spit on it, touch it.
We've already got spit on it, so why not?
I'd say last time he was here, it was spit on it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we got touch
I was gonna
it.
say,
So put out the hashtag for touch
Spit
it.
on it, touch it.
I'm not going to go into further more detail, but if people know what Kodi is, you can download 18.4 on Xbox, and that helps with your subscription problems.
Yeah. That helps. Yeah.
Or
now,
you
depending
can
on
just
your IP,
you can just jailbreak, any type of streaming device pretty easily now. So you can just do
especially
it.
Fire Sticks.
Oh yeah, Fire Sticks made you do that shit in like what, 15 minutes?
Yep.
5 minutes was the fastest I could do it.
Yeah, it doesn't take long.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But you have to watch out from your IP because certain IPs are very finicky with certain things that you connect to.
Yeah, but
You'll get emails and then you'll get.
you can fight them with it because it's not illegal to do it. It's illegal to own it, possess it, and redistribute it. It's not illegal to stream what's provided.
Bomber, you shouldn't be watching Japanese porn or whatever porn you're watching.
Hey, gotta do it.
Okay. He's only doing it on his play.
His sister's
Hey.
not always
Back's bad.
available.
Hey, exactly. I gotta have that midget porn.
So, Noof, what is your thoughts on the design leak for the new Xbox Series X? Noof?
The other new.
All right.
I love that.
Hello.
I agree. I mean, honestly, it's very good.
I mean,
I
that's a
think
good
he
insight.
said. I think he
It's
said
an
before his
inspiring
first
speech.
impressions is that he didn't like it that much. He wishes it.
Yeah,
was,
he wasn't a fan.
yeah.
Noof is quiet. That's not
I
good.
mean, I think it's one of those things. Until we get our hands on it and see it, and then go from there, we'll figure out how to use it and whatnot. But to me, whether it's a big octagon, big triangle, or a big looking dildo, if it plays my games, I'm happy.
Well,
So-
That's all
like,
it needs to do.
like
They
the-
need to
the
make a
big-
pyramid
He
version.
says
If you-
the console
and if
is an ugly motherfucker.
I mean, if you look at it, the date on it is what, November 12th of 2019. So you already know if this is a legit box, which from everybody says it is legit. So okay, it's a legit thing. So it was built then. A lot of things could be changing to it depending on what they need, whatever hardware they start putting into it. Starting probably in the next couple of months, they'll start actually getting their final internal stuff. So
It definitely lives up to the name Xbox because that's exactly what it looks like. Is a giant box. It's
absolutely, it
It's
looks like
all.
a shoebox, man.
no.
Sorta, yeah. But I
But
don't
at
know.
the end of the day, they ain't gonna sway me from buying it or not. Like I said,
Right,
I don't have to go over there and I don't have to go over and touch it and feel it and all that shit. I just gotta have the controller in my hands.
I will
Yeah,
be rubbing
exactly.
it day one.
Rubbing it.
I'd say it's a good thing it's not shaped like a dildo because boy, that would make some real interesting Twitch streams when people.
When
Yeah.
girls
What's
go
going on?
really
This
wild.
thing is heating up. Ooh.
I need some more vent ports on this because the other ones I got are clogged.
Oh.
Especially if it's like the PlayStation 5, if that thing has vents on it, because all the girls will be steaming from the rear end, you know what I mean? It'd be
I
like,
pity the
oh, steam
repairman
coming
that
out.
has to clean that up.
I just want to see the first person say, "Hey, my PlayStation 5's not working." Well, what happened? Well, I put a piece of pizza on top, and then it quit working.
No, I think Noof's right. I think ultimately, when it comes down to it, guys, you're talking about, aesthetics. It comes back to what me and Obi-Wan were saying earlier. It's not going to impact your decision to buy the box. It's really not.
Not at
But
all.
when it comes down to it, I think it was, and I don't know if it was Forkboy who said it or maybe it was Evil Ghost. The one thing I got to say is say, well, it doesn't really matter. It's just as long as it plays games and I'm enjoying the games. That's the truth. But remember the last time you went to go buy a car and you were like, excuse me, where are the pea green car colors? The reason you never asked for pea green when you went to the dealership was because you don't want to drive around in a pea green car. So, I mean, it still gets you from point A to B. Sometimes the aesthetics do make a difference. And I think, it's just, it's something where you say, myself personally, I don't know about you guys. Listen, I wear the fact that I'm a gamer on my sleeve, right? Talk about it. I love it. It's something that I talk about with my friends, even friends that don't like the game. And when you come to my house, I like presenting my consoles on the entertainment center. My entertainment center is not hidden. It's right there in front of everybody. And I'm proud to show my consoles. So that being said, that's why I kind of make that emphasis. It's a me problem. I understand it's a me problem, but I think there's other people that have, similar situations where
Oh,
when
I'm
you
sure
see
there
this thing-
is.
Right, when you see this thing
Remember,
horizontally, it looks
GameCube
a little
looked like
funky.
a lunchbox and it was purple. So that.
Yeah.
Right. That's right.
now-
That's right.
Now,
It even had a handle.
But think about it though. This, and I think even Phil said it just because of what Xbox Pope has done, is if you look at the actual box, you'll actually be able to display it and actually see any custom work on it, whether you get a skin, whether you get whatever it is. If they make a special custom skin like they've always done with Gears, have another one but you can see it because it's going to be on that flat side anyway.
Well, Bomber,
so you'll see it. And so other than just white,
That last
just
Here's my
red.
thing, Bomber.
Really well done.
That got me excited for a second. Like my heart rate jumped, and I was like, okay. Then it went back down to scale because here's the thing: if you buy it right, and if you've looked at how the Pope is making it, they're not going to make 3 different SKUs like regular, horizontal, and vertical, right? So if you buy this thing and it's got this great design going vertical, and you lay it horizontal, there goes your design. It looks a little messed up in the wrong direction.
Just put a hologram on there. So just
or just put a mirror on it so it portrays it vertically.
You know the little laser things you put out at Christmas, that make it look like your house has got snow coming down? Just
get a little flashlight that you put in
I asked my buddy, I said, "What if you could put a design on it, what are you going to do?" My buddy says, "I'm going to put my sister on the side of that Xbox Series X." And I said, "Why?" "Because you have something in common." I said, "What's that?" He said, "Well, they're both flat."
No, chill.
I've got to find that sound bite for Noof.
I'm sorry, guys. I am tired, wired, and almost fired. So let's go.
You ain't the only one, dude. You saw my video earlier, right? Oh my God, it's been a hell of a day.
See, you should have heard Wilmy before.
Noof, or not Noof, but Mooch. I was thinking about that. How you said that if they make a special edition console, that it's going to be limited to one way to make it look, make it look right.
Right.
It's going to be a horse. If you look at the Gears 5 one, that emblem doesn't look right if it's laying flat. It's meant to be stood up.
Correct. And that it will be one makes a great point, and that's what I'm saying. Like I got excited when Phil said that, but I was like, it didn't resonate with me well because of two things. A, with Obi-Wan and I just said, right, absolutely nailed it. Number two was Xbox was so against custom consoles this gen. So
Big
against
time.
it. Like, so now all of a sudden they're into it because it's a rectangle. I don't get that. So I almost feel like it's like, hey, we made a rectangle, but I promise you guys we're going to put more pictures on the side.
I think they had more customs with the original Xbox One than any of them.
And 360.
They had
because they had
Star Wars Xbox 360 right above
ones.
my head right now.
Yeah,
you guys gotta love my
really
next idea. Here's the perfect one. You put Adam, what's his name? Adam Sandberg, is it? And fucking Justin Timberlake on one side, and then you got Dick in the Box.
My dick in a box.
It's my dick in a box.
And now you give me an idea of how to
Dick
drink.
in a box.
Oh man.
Design it.
Ready,
Let's
guys?
go. Somebody design it.
Let's just freaking get Xbox Pope to do it. Screw it.
Yeah.
So how many of you guys actually think that the fan up top is actually LED?
I don't.
I hope so, Obi-Wan, but I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I
Either.
really don't want to see a green light the entire time I'm playing games.
No, I don't either. And here's the reason. I like my living room dark when I'm watching a movie. I don't want a bunch of flashing strobe or bright lights.
I mean,
See,
if there's a green light,
you think that, but I replaced my Xbox One S when it had died on me last year. I put in a custom fan on it and an LED one. And I don't ever use this one, but I just thought, well, why not just try it? Because I had an extra fan from my desktop, and it looks pretty badass.
Well, anybody that's got a PlayStation 4 knows all about the lights, because every time you're playing it in the dark, you start to think that the Smurf Village is having a party. You know?
I mean, here's the problem. If it has a green light, it's only like a month or two before we're going to see on Twitter some guy say, hey, so I covered it with a napkin, and now it doesn't work. Anybody help me? Because some jackass will put something on top of it. Well, I didn't want light coming out of it. Oh, okay. Well,
that actually brings up a good point.
It might have a function where you can turn it off too.
Well, just like your controller.
They're gonna have to have the same function in it that the Xbox One X and this S had, where when there is something placed on top of this, it can't go into instant like red ring of death, right? So what it has to do is it would have to sense that, and then it would have to go into shutdown mode, which prevents it from overheating. Because, we joke about that, and I know that was just a joke with the Kleenex or a box, but all of us, this is something I try to remind listeners all the time on my show, and everybody here as well, Wilmy, because, I mean, there's probably, you're a huge gamer, Wilmy. Like, everyone that comes to your channel knows this, right? So
No, according to a troll yesterday, he played 30 more games on PlayStation than I did, even though I've got hundreds and hundreds of games on Steam and on my Xbox.
Oh, we all know you don't play games.
Wilmy's just a fake accent fraud.
Yeah, and I'm actually from South Jersey. I live right down the street.
Fraud alert! Fraud alert!
I wish you were from South Jersey. It'd be a little closer to New York. But us hardcore gamers, to be honest with you, we know not to place things on top of our consoles. I mean, if you do, right, you do it momentarily, and then instantly, like even if someone calls you, like, hey, you gotta come in the other room, you're like, oh, hold on a second, I gotta clear this off the console. I put this down, right? So like you will make that a priority. However, there's many folks many folks that are gonna put something on top of it, forget about it for a while. And as Obi-Wan said, both these consoles are going to be putting out a tremendous amount of heat. And if Xbox's only out is up and not sides and up and left and down and up, the problem here is that you'll have people placing things on there, and listen, the media can't wait to pounce on something like this, right? The minute there's more than like 5% return rate because somebody put an actual case of a game on top of it. Like, come on, you guys know that you can picture this happening, right? And the media is gonna feed on this like vultures.
Well, if you look at the design, the design has holes.
None of us will do it.
Didn't they say? I will say this: that the Xbox One X. One thing I liked about it.
Do it.
I liked is that when I had friends over that had Xbox One X's, we had a bro night where everybody brought over their X, and we all had gaming monitors. We actually stacked our X's all on top of each other because it wouldn't affect them at all.
That's right.
And I read that you could stack 8 of them. The bottom one can have 7 other consoles on top of it.
I just want to know who tested that out at 9. It kills it. Okay, stop at 7.
Yeah, that's kind of like the first guy to discover you could drink milk from a cow. What the fuck was he doing?
Well, remember, I think that was probably that was probably tested out for the dev kits because they stack them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's actually an interesting stat, Obi-Wan. That's actually interesting because I mean, listen, there are people that whether it be stacking a console on top of a console, which again, even for the hardcore is a bit hard for us to fathom.
I wouldn't be able to do it. I'd just be like, nope.
Well, we wouldn't need to, but at the same time, I really think that's the cartridge. You like that? There you go, Wilmy. There's really old school retro gaming. But the game case that it comes in, people put those down on top. That's something that I think, and I don't think it's an issue. I do not think it's an issue. I think Microsoft will just have the same system implemented that they had in the Xbox One S, where it'll just go into a shutdown. It'll warn you on screen that you're overheating, and it'll save the console and go into immediate cooldown, which is what it should do. And
luckily, I have not seen that on my S yet.
I've seen it on my X when I played Metro.
I've never had one of mine overheat.
I thought I was scared to finish that game, man. I thought I was going to lose my console playing that game.
I've never had one overheat. But anyway, next topic.
Yes.
Are we finished with this one?
Yes.
Division 2 to Game Pass.
I believe so.
Do we want to talk about the elephant in the room that's got so many people pissed off and threatening to shoot up Sony headquarters?
I didn't say anything.
Games to
Cyberpunk being delayed?
Can you narrow that one down?
There was a guy. I'm not going to give him the benefit of posting his shit or putting it in the stream. There was a guy actually posted on Twitter that he should go and shoot up Sony because they're moving some of their games to PC.
Yeah,
dude, that dude is a product of the toxic Twitter. Yeah, he's a product of that.
There is,
you got issues if you're going to shoot up a business just for putting games on a different platform.
Yeah, there's toxic, and there's this asshole that the FBI probably went to go visit, a couple of days ago.
Knock, knock.
Just like what everybody in the chat heard.
I hope so. I hope he got in trouble for that or something. Cause that's
oh my God! You don't use Cottonelle toilet paper. Shoot the fuck out of everyone.
You gonna learn your lesson, Sony.
And even for the biggest Sony lover, just saying is like, okay, they all know this is a 3-year-old game. For one, for two, why not let it go to PC? It's not going to your rival of a console, which is the Xbox. It's not going to be on there. So the PC does not threaten the console if that's what you think it's doing anyway. Because I'm sorry, it's not. It's just the existing PC. You're not going to have anybody on PlayStation that's like, oh crap, it's going Horizon's going to PC. Oh God, I got to throw away my PS4 because that's trash now. I got to play it on PC. Like, no, nobody's going to do that.
For the logical fans on both sides, it's totally fine. It's a 3-year-old game. This is bothering the people that have made fun of Xbox for doing it. Now that their favorite company that they've been raising the flag for is doing it, that's why they're pissed off. That they're following in the footsteps. It's just the old games. But who's to say? You can't deny or confirm that it will happen. Day and date for new games.
We're getting into that one next. And thank you, Adam, for the super chat. sometimes, dude, there are certain things you don't joke about. And shooting up a
Anything.
shooting up anything is pretty much frowned on nowadays after 9/11.
Especially with
I mean,
how many shootings
if you'd have said it,
anymore.
if you'd have said it back in like 1992, some people would probably be like, "Haha, that's funny." But with all the shootings that have been happening, it's like that's not funny anymore.
Yeah, it's not funny anymore. They
Let's
take
just
that
say
shit
that
pretty serious.
gamers already take too much blame for every time an idiot goes out and does something stupid, so we
thank
don't need
you.
any of this.
Exactly.
Oh my god, yeah.
This just makes it a little worse. People are going to pinpoint at his tweets, and that'll be bookmarked for the next 10 years. They go, here you go.
Just like
I will
Noob
say,
said, if something
I bet
happens,
he played Grand Theft Auto.
if there is anything that happens in the next couple of weeks, and this has nothing, but anytime there's political upset in the United States, it always seems like there's a shooting happen somewhere. If that happens in the next few weeks, just like Noof said, you will see this shit on the news, and that little fucker's tweet will be all over the 6 o'clock news on your television.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
Gamers are so against each other. They're willing to kill other people over something. Yeah, it's like no, one idiot.
To summarize what I was trying to say though is that the only reason that Sony guys are mad is because Microsoft did it, and so Sony's doing something like Microsoft did, and they think that there's no way that Sony's can do anything that Microsoft did because Microsoft is trash. But I mean, if you look throughout history,
this is going to be the future.
Microsoft's always the one that tests the waters, and then Sony reacts. They never do anything really leader.
Sony's sitting back
like
going, how
industry
come
leading.
we sell 100 million consoles,
just-
but we ain't making the kind of dough that Microsoft's rolling in? That's what they're
That's
thinking.
it.
They're going, how the fuck is that? We're selling all these consoles, but Microsoft is turning money hand over fist, but they're selling half. So that's what they're wondering. So they're like, man, we got to get on the same boat, or we're gonna sink pretty soon.
Mind you, as of Friday morning, I Googled it, and PlayStation is at only $90 billion net worth. Meanwhile,
That's cool.
Xbox just crossed $1 trillion. So yeah, it's like Noob just said. It's
Not
like
Xbox.
yeah, it's on Xbox. Microsoft crossed. Now, mind you, Microsoft only makes Windows and Xbox.
No, they make a lot of software.
Well, they make a lot of hardware.
Yeah,
They got a ton of hardware.
but where this is coming from, the one post that really brought out a lot of hate. Ready at Dawn. There's a rumor that the new Order 1886 sequel will be multi-plat.
Yep.
That's cool.
And the irony of that is, I played the Order 1886. I really liked the game. I just had a really bad glitch near the end of it, and I never could finish the game. And honestly, it's kind of like we said. Actually, I think we talked about it on Mooch's podcast a couple Fridays ago. When a game starts out with a bad launch, it always will be a bad game to most people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Most
Oh
people
yeah,
won't-
it'll get
Yeah.
branded. It's a bad
most
game.
people won't go back and play it again.
I think a few
So-
things, Wilmy, with this subject here that you kind of got to dissect is, first of all, with the order, and guys, please do correct me if I'm wrong, but a few people wrote me when this thing kind of broke, and they said, it's funny people are saying this. Ready, I believe it's Ready at Dawn.
Ready at Dawn.
They don't own the IP. Sony does. So that rumor may not have legs. I don't know. If that's the case, I don't see how Sony would want to release it on multiple consoles, at least not right away. The other thing is I didn't, when I sit down and I see it, games are going to PC, and you guys know this, I've been saying this for well over a year.
It's going
I
to
think that's
happen.
fine. I think it's fine. There's no problem with that, right? Every company, why wouldn't they want to reach out and
Make more
reach as
money.
many customers as possible?
More money.
Right. But, however, and a lot of people don't understand this. They are, in one hand, people go, they're a business. You need to understand that they're a business. Then on the same exact breath, they're like, but they need to be consumer friendly. Well, there's a fine line there, folks, right?
That's
That's
it.
a fine line to walk
So
right there.
the fine line is Sony is taking a 3-year-old, Obi-Wan just said this, they're taking a 3-year-old IP and putting it on PC.
Exactly.
That's when I saw all the conversation going back and forth. I didn't chime in because there's no reason to panic on either side. Microsoft has decided to go day and date. And the minute they announced that, I just said, and I said this years ago, I said it was well over a year ago, I say it weekly. I don't understand why they did that. They didn't have to do that. They could have very easily give PC gamers and Game Pass the game 3 months later, 60 days later, 30 days later. It doesn't matter. That's up to them. That's not for us to decide. But they would have given a reason when people say, I can't wait for this console to come out because I'm going to go out, buy this console. I'm going to buy Halo Infinite, and then I'll play that game on Game Pass when it comes out down the road. Or if I'm a PC gamer and I'm like, I don't buy consoles. Consoles aren't for me. I'm PC all the way, baby. Okay, great. So you'll get it on Game Pass Ultimate when Microsoft says you can. You weren't going to play these games anywhere. Anyway, PC gamers weren't playing Gears. They weren't playing Halo. So they never had it. Now, this is Monday morning quarterback stuff, right? Because now it's easy to go, Mooch, you're wrong. Boo this man. They're giving it to us day and date. Boo this man. Listen, I'm talking about before it was discussed at the big table at Redmond. I would have said, listen, give a reason for console gamers to have that edge. This is where they started. Halo got big because of Xbox. Let the Xbox fans have their Halo, and then we'll give it to our PC crowd 30 days, 60 days, 90 days later. It's no big deal. But no, they went day and date. And I think that was because Microsoft was struggling through this generation. I think that's obvious to a lot of people. Sony, on the other hand, is saying, wait a second. The Last of Us 2 pre-orders just came out, and we broke records. They broke records. So they're going to double dip. They're going to go ahead, and they're going to sell anywhere from, I don't know. There's no reason for me to come out with a number, but let's just be really, really bland. 5 to 12 million copies of The Last of Us 2. And then 3 years from now, they'll put it on PC, and they'll sell another 3, 5, 10 million copies. Why wouldn't, listen, because we sit here and say, they're a business. You need to understand they're a business. And then on the other hand, they're like, well, they should be very consumer friendly. Well, which is it, folks? Which is it? Are they a business or are they consumer friendly? Because at the end of the day, if they can double dip, okay, they're going to do it. And people go, okay, let's turn the scenario around. Let's look at movies. Rise of the Skywalker. Everybody's got Disney Plus. Why didn't Rise of the Skywalker come to Disney Plus? You know how many Disney Plus subscriptions there be? We would all be cutting the cord. But no, they're going to take your $20 IMAX ticket and the $8.90 for the smallest Twizzler package I can find, and they're going to charge me through the wazoo to watch it, and then I'm going to get it on Disney Plus later on. It's called double dipping. It's called
really hate that
business.
Twizzler pack.
I love Twizzler.
And you forgot the $10 soda, Mooch.
Yourself to Enfys in the chat. He says, Mooch, can you speak up? I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Let alone it being on Voodoo.
When we promise yelling, I'm going to give him some yelling. So, I mean, that's the thing. It's a business, folks. So do I understand that? I do. Now, again, fast forwarding into the future. If Sony says, listen, we're not going to wait 3 years. We're going to wait 12 months. Good for them. Good for PC gamers. Good for console owners. Good for everybody.
Yep.
Right? That's the thing. So ultimately, right, that's the thing. And when you say, hey, we need to think about only us, well, that's fine. But if Sony and Microsoft aren't making money, they're not making games.
Exactly.
So let them make their games and buy the games where they put them out. We all have our favorite restaurants in our local town. I don't care what you like. Steakhouse, you like Italian food, it doesn't matter. But the reason you keep saying, hey, you know what, it's our anniversary, we're going to our favorite place, or it's my birthday, I'm going to my favorite place, is because they got a dish that nobody else has. Or it wouldn't be your favorite place.
Blows your
So
balls.
my point being is, right, you go to that place and you pay the price they're asking because you like that dish. Sony knows they have IP, a.k.a. dishes, that only they're serving. If you want to play them, you will play them where they put them. And that, in a sense, is pure capitalism, and it works at its best. Here's the product.
My question
You're the
is,
customer.
though,
You pay for it. You go home. You use it. Both sides are happy. Capitalism works. Go ahead, Obi-Wan.
if they make a PlayStation launcher, what's the difference?
Well, that's a completely different subject. If they make a PlayStation launcher, then they're deciding to follow Microsoft's suit.
Because, I mean, with that PS Now being its own launcher, you'd have to assume that they would make their own launcher for it. You're buying it from the same ecosystem. So, I mean, they make more of a return off of the software than they do the hardware.
Yeah, but why can't they make it on both?
I'm not saying you can't make it on both, but I'm saying for
That's all I'm saying.
For day and date, if it's still in the ecosystem, I mean, PC's not getting the money for it. So I don't understand why they think that it's being taken away. That's my thought process. What makes them think what's being taken away from them or from you personally to be for people, not you, but for people to be hating on it? And I mean, me personally, I don't understand it. When Xbox says day and date for their games,
Yeah.
having it on my PC, it's like having another console in the house. Kids are watching TV.
A lot of people
we'll
don't
play
have
it as
that
a
PC, Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I'm fortunate enough to be able to have
you know,
one.
I mean, you hear it day in and day out. I know that your ear is to the ground in the gaming community. I know you pay attention to it. There's a lot of console gamers that don't want to partake in PC. So
Yeah.
my thing is those are the folks that may. Myself personally, no. I kind of speak in generality, right? I'm just trying to hit the masses here and put the airwaves out there that kind of give a reason for everybody to scratch their chin and say, oh, okay, that's an interesting point. And, you know, you're not wrong. What you said is not wrong. But you're not wrong as far as me and you are concerned, because we happen to have both of those. But for folks that don't, they're scratching their chin saying, why do they, you know, and don't get me wrong, at the end of the day, I guess it comes down to this. Sony knows that that's their dish. That's your favorite place to eat. So you got to go to that restaurant. They know they have The Last of Us. They have God of War. They have Horizon. They have this. They have that. You pick your flavor. Or even if you don't like any of them. But my point is that if you want one of those and they say, we're mandating you buy a PS5 to play it, well, you have two choices. Buy a PS5 or don't play it. Right. And I mean, don't get me wrong. That's your right as a consumer.
Exactly.
We vote with our wallets. So, but the thing is, though, here's the thing, Obi-Wan. As of this generation ending, right now, the majority has spoken and they're buying it. So if you're sitting in the Oval Room there, right, the mahogany table they're all sitting at, somebody says, hey, we don't need to do this. We can continue the path we're going forward on, because regardless of what Microsoft, Stadia, Nintendo, whoever comes into the game next, it doesn't matter. This is our formula. It's working. And if they want to play it, they've got to play it here. And that's really, no matter how many times we go around the conversation, that's what really matters. And that we as consumers, we can complain. But here's the other thing. Social media, YouTube, Twitter, has given these gaming companies, all of them, quite the big head, if you will. Because now, what do we all do? Wilmy, me and you've had this discussion in the past, right?
Oh, yes.
The minute a new game comes out, let's say Obi-Wan goes, you know what? I'm not buying that game. I'm choosing to not buy it. Meanwhile, it's the talk of the town. Everyone's talking about it. It's on all the podcasts. It's on all your favorite shows. All your friends are talking about it. People are sending each other pictures. They're sending it to them on their phones, on their this, on their multiple devices. It's what have you done for me lately in gaming? What's going on in the now? They know that we're making it the hot subjects, right? And I'm not even talking about the podcasts, you know. Even the big YouTube channels, the media, they're all talking about it. So if you elect to miss the game when it's hot right now, you go, how many times? And Noof, you know this, right? You'll go, I wasn't going to buy it, but everybody won't stop talking about it. I guess I'll go get it, right? We've all done it. Let's not pretend we haven't done it. So they know this.
Yep.
Right?
Sure.
And they bank on this, Wilmy.
When the poontang is good, you hit it. Let's go.
Noof couldn't have said it better. However, it needs to have a rating of no chills. But yes, nonetheless, this is my point. And Sony knows this. As gamers, we're not going to... Listen, you may say I'm not going to do it, and that's fine. I can't contest that. But I can tell you, the majority of people, if The Last of Us 2 comes out, and they're like, you have to buy it on PS4. Well, so you folks... You got two choices. Buy the PS4 and buy the game, or don't. You know what I mean? It's up to you. But you know, if you don't want to pay the cover charge to get into your favorite bar, you ain't getting in. So that's the thing here, and that's the one thing that I thought that Microsoft kind of jumped the shark. They didn't have to do that. They could have offered it a fun. Listen, you can't say Game Pass without saying great. Okay, it's great. We all know it's great. It's fantastic. But they could have waited. They didn't have to throw it in there. Now, again, Monday Morning Quarterback says, Mooch, you shouldn't say that. It's consumer friendly. Absolutely. Guess what? I'm reaping the benefits of it, and so is everybody on the panel. Absolutely. But that's my shtick on it. And I think that when it comes down to it, ultimately is Sony knows they have the goods. They'll decide where they want to put it. And frankly, everyone's going to buy into it.
Oh yeah.
Well, absolutely.
Well, a lot of people, not everybody. A lot of people.
Microsoft knows the money is in subscriptions, and they know that in order to to really get the numbers where they want it, where it's profitable and makes sense, is to get as many people on board as early as you can in the ecosystem. And how are they doing that? They're doing it with, obviously, remember when that dropped, the day and date stuff for the first party titles, like that drop, that was a bombshell drop. It was a mic drop moment. Like, wow, really? And the next thing is like everywhere you turn right now, it's Game Pass. And it's not just Game Pass, but it's Game Pass for like dirt cheap. Like you're getting like monthly subscriptions for like $1, all that bullshit. You're getting the whole works. Like they're almost like giving this shit away at this point. But they're going to get their numbers up, right? That's how they're going to do it. They're going to have mass adoption of Game Pass at some point here, probably within the next couple of years, and that's when they're going to be laughing. Where Sony's ecosystem is still largely a bit different than the way Microsoft treats their business, because Microsoft is trying to get their games everywhere, because that means they get their subscriptions everywhere, or as many places as they can, and obviously that's, like I said, they're catering a lot to the PC side of things right now, and it seems to be working. I'm seeing more people right now in the last 6 months on my Xbox dashboard with the little PC icon than I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
So more people are gravitating playing on their PC. So that's got to be, something's definitely changing, because I never saw that before. Obviously, yeah. So they maybe didn't have it for that long before, but I am seeing that trend right now. I'm seeing a lot of people on my friends list with that PC icon, which I never would thought of seeing it before. But like I said, things are very different, and the way Sony tracks this is not necessarily right or wrong. No different than Microsoft is right or wrong. They're just going about it differently, and it's up to you to decide which one matters most to you.
Yeah.
And the gaming
Actually,
industry
noticed earlier. Oh, go ahead, Bomber.
Sorry. I'm just saying, like, the gaming industry is changing so fast. It's just like technology. It's just all it is. Just all this new stuff is coming out, and they're trying it out, and they're seeing what sticks, what doesn't, and what is stuck is this is the way. And kind of what Mooch was saying is that Microsoft they were in a bind. They were in a big bind, and they had to wow everybody to be like, holy crap, this subscription thing is definitely worth it. Is that all their big titles are going to be in there, and I ain't got to pay a dime of the subscription. So people were blindly just like, I will pay for the subscription. Let's do this. So that like initially started, and yeah, all these $1 for 3 months, whatever. It's helped tremendously. And getting all this money subscription wise, I mean, PlayStation has seen it. That's why they changed PS Now. PS Now has a ton of games you can download now instead of just stream. They have a bigger library, and it's cheaper. So they have seen what Game Pass has done. The only difference is they have not marketed it like they market their games. So the PS Now, they're like, yes, it's there, it's cool, it's cheaper, but let's market the heck out of Spider-Man because that sells 20 million copies. Let's market the heck out of Horizon, whatever it could be, whatever their big jams are going to be, they're going to market heavily. And I guarantee you, The Last of Us 2, it'll start ramping up in around March, probably even February, just because of all their stuff they're going on through February. You're going to have Sony everywhere, and Microsoft, hopefully, they've kind of been on this like attack mode that, they've kind of hit everything first before Sony can even throw something out to be like, haha. So, I mean, I think Microsoft's just in a really good position regardless overall, just because of how everything's evolving with xCloud, with, the game streaming to the Game Pass. I mean, it's just, they've done their research in what they want to do, and they're doing it differently. If we had all the same companies, same thing, we would all be truly console. We would just pick one side and that'd be it. Like, nobody would want to own all three. Nobody would want to own whatever. It'd just be like, you just own one just because I'm kind of tired of everything else. So it's like, I'm happy with everything that's going on. Shit, I'm gonna buy them all because that's just what I do. I mean,
yeah.
And I know I'm not the regular consumer. I don't think any of us are the normal consumer. But I don't know. I just think that Microsoft is doing what they're going to do, and yeah, I don't know. I guess my point kind of is thrown off a little bit, but it's just I don't see Sony having any issues with the way they're done. It's not broke, so don't fix it. Keep doing what they're doing. They are They are
Exactly, Bomber. Exactly.
Yeah, they're just doing too good over how many generations. They've done very, very well, and they're still going to keep doing well. And yeah, like Mooch said earlier, if you want Last of Us Part 2, guess what? You're going to have to buy that PS4. Just be done with it. Anyway.
I mean, it comes down to PlayStation. Yeah, PlayStation's always going to have their own exclusives, and as long as if you have a problem with that, then life sucks. I mean, that's all there is to it.
I noticed earlier today I was playing Street Fighter 5, and they actually started slashing the deals on PlayStation Plus. You can get a month for $5 now.
Oh, nice.
Really?
But it's only
like a temporary thing.
Yeah, it's only till January 31st. But it looks like they're trying to copy off what Microsoft's been doing with Xbox.
Wilmy's took a phone call, so I'm going to take over a little bit. Mooch and Noof, we've kind of talked about it in our own private chat, but Dying Light 2.
Oh, this was a sad one.
I mean, I'll start with this. Does it worry anybody that there's no date?
No. I'm not scared because for multiple reasons, man. It's there's too many rumors right now about the whole Techland and Microsoft thing anyway, and if they're pushing it out and not giving a date, could mean that it's dropping day and date with the Series X, possibly. I'm just throwing that out there. Hey, take it as you will.
So what if, and this is something that I've just kind of sat on and just kind of kicked around, what if they're not going to say anything until E3 comes around? And they drop the date then just to kind of, build it up a little bit.
That's not a bad idea. I think that I think it's still destined for this generation.
Yeah,
they've been working on it way too long.
If it doesn't come out this year, I would think that's going to hurt when it does finally come out. Just because how long time period.
I don't know.
It's not like it's Dying Light 2. It's the second. It's just the first sequel. It's not. I think them taking whatever long they want to take, it doesn't really hurt them like as bad as saying. And plus, they never really gave a date to begin with, did they?
March 20th, I think it was.
So see, I wasn't ever under the. They actually had a full date. So maybe I'm just not seeing that out there, but it's not as detrimental as saying Halo Infinite comes out on the launch of the Series X and it doesn't meet that mark. That's a bigger blow than Dying Light being pushed out to 2021. And that's just me, because I don't think it's just that big of a. I mean, I know it's a big title, whatever. I just don't. It's not that to that extreme.
I mean, I consider it a AAA title. To me, I guess it's something that I wanted to play, but it's not something that's like if The Last of Us 2, which is a huge PlayStation, God of War, if one of those were to say, hey, yeah, it's coming out, but we don't know when at all. We're just delaying it infinitely. I mean,
that's not a good way to start off.
Oh, they're going to cancel it. And I'm like, they're not canceling it. They are way too far into this game to be canceling it.
Right.
I would hope so. Let's keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, I don't. It's definitely not getting canceled.
No.
Definitely not. I mean,
I don't think it's getting canceled, but I think, unfortunately, Anthem and a lot of other games that came out this year that were not ready to be released has really put a mark on, hey, we need to make sure it's ready before we ever release it.
And also, I kind of want to throw this out there, too. I just think there's something going on this first quarter. I mean, there's too many games. We've never seen a year like this where we've had 7+ games that have been delayed, regardless if it's a month or it's 6 months. We've not seen this magnitude of games from big developers as well. So this is where this year's kind of crazy, where this first quarter of 2020 has changed from, The Last of Us 2 going to come out early, where we're going to have, I guess in March was Final Fantasy. Now it's in April.
Yeah.
And now Dying Light was supposed to be March as well. Now it's whenever it decides to come out.
We're going to have a log jam in the fall, and it's going to be called a backlog jam.
There's going to be a lot of new games coming out next year.
Fork, think about this one, Fork. I don't think it being delayed is going to hurt it. If you think about it, Cyberpunk was announced back in 2012, and it's, just now coming out, and it's probably the second biggest game this year, if not the first. I mean, you can talk about delayed for that one.
Yeah. Well, I guess what I'm looking at on the Dying Light 2 is the fact that it doesn't have a date. Cyberpunk, it's had a date. Now it's got, it's been moved,
Well,
which I also wonder if that's been moved. Just
Bork, you make a
maybe.
good point. I think to put your worries to rest, I think the situation with this particular developer, and of course I'm completely speculating here, is that we've heard a couple of times now when something gets delayed, people go, "Well, is it going to be delayed again?"
There's another scale by own.
Right?
Yeah,
So I think
the
what this-
first response.
I think this company is saying, you know what? We don't have an approximate time. Maybe they'll be done in May. Maybe they'll be done in August. Maybe it'll be September 30th. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
So what they're trying to say is until we have a lock, and I think whoever said it, and I apologize, maybe it was Bomber. I can't remember who said it. Somebody said that they may announce it at E3. That would probably make sense. That gives them, let's think about it, guys. February, March, April, May, June. 4 months, because it's early June when E3 is. They've got 4 months to work on this thing, make a major announcement on stage with whoever their deal is for a third-party contract, and then go there and say, you know what, we're releasing September 1st. And let me tell you something, myself included, I will light a match and stomp my feet for about a half an hour because I played the shit out of the first one, and I can't wait for the second one. So
See, I never played it, so I don't know. I don't feel the hype yet. So
it's amazing, and to play it with friends is just that much better.
Yeah, it is great. If you haven't played it, Bomber,
Maybe it is something that I
yeah,
need to look at.
I definitely will. Yeah,
that's honestly, I gotta say, especially on Wilmy's channel, the horror king. He's our version of Vincent Price. Okay, most people don't know who that is. He literally, this is the channel you have to say you have to play. Well, listen, I like this.
Get off my lawn, you little punk!
Maybe I'm just a historian. I can tell you a lot about Christopher Columbus. I wasn't there then. Listen, the point of the matter is, it's a great game. You got to play it. You got to play it, and you got 4 or 5 people on this panel, I know, myself included, that volunteer to take you through it. It's fantastic.
I got a max level character. I'll take you through. It's fun.
I think it's probably get it. We could all play it on PC probably for like $1.25.
Oh shit!
No, it's
Careful.
$39.99.
Oh, is it really?
Oh, speaking
Dying Light's actually held its price very well.
If
Let's
you
see how
are
much
in the chat, if you are on Steam,
Damn, it's $30 for you.
would you be interested in GTFO? And yes, that stands for Get the Fuck Out. It is a Steam game. If you follow me on Twitter, you've probably seen me post some images of it from my PC. If you want a chance at the game, type 1 into the chat.
I'm offended.
I'm still waiting for you, Wilmy.
If I had a piece that actually would work, that's my problem. I mean, my damn 10-year-old PC barely lets me stream when I did. But
Yeah, well, that's you console peasants. That's a you.
that's right. That's right. Console peasant. Hey,
Real one's coming out tonight.
I am
So,
happy
brother,
to be
the
a
only
console
steam I
peasant.
got is when I drop a deuce in the snow.
Oh yeah! You definitely have plenty of it up there.
Yes, lots of snow up here. Several feet in Newfoundland and Labrador. Unbelievable.
You know, Wilmy, CSS Freelance in the chat actually asked a very valid question. He says, why would they wait for E3? Now, listen, I'm with CSS on this, but the reason I agreed with Bomber, and I believe it was Bomber who made the initial comment, the reason I agree with him on that is if they are unknown to the release date and they need more time, to work on this game, listen, it's like the 2-minute warning. E3 for them is a 2-minute warning. They have, even if they're out of timeouts, they got one left, right? It's given to them. So, if CSS, my answer to you would be they don't need to wait for E3. If they're confident and they know, they'll announce it in a tweet and it'll get just as much fanfare as E3. But what I'm saying is if they don't know, they have until E3 to make that announcement. It's their 2-minute warning. At that point, they can make the announcement and still get the crowd riveted to play this game. So, I mean, they have that opportunity. And I think that's something that, myself personally, I wouldn't want to let that go. I wouldn't want to go past E3 without a date.
Yeah, no.
No,
Especially
Yeah,
when
I
you
think
have
E3
a
would be a
option.
great place to do it.
Absolutely.
Right.
And you
Usually, if
say
it goes to E3 without a date, means it ain't coming that year.
Oh yeah,
No,
that's
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
That's true. I'll buy
And then
that.
if we don't
Well,
see
unless
it,
you're Duke Nukem Forever.
Well, unless you're Apex.
Noof Nukem forever? Yes, I'll take that for a
That thing kept on issuing
Yes,
dates,
get some
but
girls in
never
the
came.
room. Woo.
So we've only got 2 people in the chat that are interested in Get the Fuck Out.
Maybe they told
Maybe-
maybe
hey,
the
hey,
maybe the thing
everybody
you
else
told
is
them to get the
console
fuck out.
Well, maybe the problem is you said
we don't understand the language.
yeah. Maybe the problem is they're like, well, he played it on his PC. Will it even run on my PC?
Right.
No, it should. And actually, I think they're still supposed to bring that game to console too sometime this year. I think
I'm
that's
still
the
waiting
plan.
for APB to come out on console.
What?
It was an MMO that was canceled, like hardcore.
Wasn't it on console?
No. Well, yeah, it was a beta, and then that's where it died.
Oh man.
Well, to
Shoot.
the two people in the chat that posted the number ones, go to Steam, send me a friend request. It's Wilmy Hood, just like you see at the bottom of the screen. And both of you will get a copy of GTFO just for taking the time to type that into the chat.
Congrats, you put one in there, you win.
Congratulations.
Congrats. You
So congrats.
Now we're gonna see a whole bunch of people put ones.
It's too late
Right.
to put ones in now, folks. So,
You sons of bitches have all failed.
Fork, you can kiss my
See, there
ass. You're still playing on fucking Windows 4 or some shit.
It's Windows Me, thank you. Leave it alone.
That's even
It's
worse.
perfectly fine.
Millennium. Oh my god. Oh man.
But
No,
yeah,
I mean,
both you guys, just send me a friend request on Steam, and I will shoot you the code for the game as soon as I get your friend request.
I'll tell you, the game looks very interesting, Wilmy, and I know that it's still in a beta, I believe,
It is
right?
It's still an early phase.
But I mean, nonetheless, the only critique I've heard about it, and it's not really a critique, is that there is no, I don't want to use the word progression, but there's no, like, whatever it is, you kind of run. It's kind of like Left 4 Dead in the sense that you run through the game, and when you're done, when you start over again, you start from the beginning. Is that true, or is that not true, Wilmy?
I haven't got that far with it yet, to be honest.
Okay, but when you start the game back up, do you keep what you've earned, or do you start over again?
I had to start back over.
Right, that's and like again, that's not a critique. That's maybe the way that they've styled the game. That's the way that they've designed it. If that's the way it is, that's fine. But a lot of people are hoping that when the full game releases, that it will be this something that as you're continuing through, there'll be multiple levels. You'll be able to keep the weapons and perks that you've obtained and then move forward. But the game looks like, I mean, it looks like high intensity. Like it's Left 4 Dead on crack.
It's definitely intense. But the only other issue too, it doesn't really have matchmaking. You have to go through Discord to find people to play with.
Ooh.
Ah, okay. Well, not a problem for us, but maybe a problem for.
I mean, someone said it earlier where they're talking about how all of us on the podcast are what would be considered hardcore gamers. So yeah, I mean, to me that could be a hindrance. I mean, to me, if I'm a normal casual, I'm probably not going to put forth the effort to do Discord and do all that. Like I said.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, that's valid if you're casual. Absolutely, I think if you're casual though,
well, casual, you're like, what the hell is Discord?
you probably don't.
Yeah.
Well, you probably don't know what GTFO
Exactly.
is because GTFO being
that
in
too.
a beta or alpha, right? Casuals, like my friends that are casual, okay, you know what they're doing right now? They're waiting for the next Call of Duty to release.
Yeah, I was gonna
next year,
say Call
right?
of Duty or
Yeah,
Madden.
or
Or Madden. So,
Madden.
if I said, hey, guys, GTFO, they'd be like, well, why don't you just get out of my house then? Right? So I don't know if necessarily it would go over so smoothly, but yeah, it's funny. A lot of times that's a great point that you make, Fork, because that's one of the things, and I try to kind of ground myself when we have these topics and debates, not necessarily this one here, but when we're talking about the masses and we're talking about trying to reach so many people, I have my friends, that I've begged and pleaded, I'm like, it's just $1, try Game Pass. They don't want it, and I'm like, because their number one answer is Call of Duty in it? No. Is Madden in it? No. They're like, I guess we're not gonna. I guess they don't want it. Like casuals are not the hardcore, and hardcore are not the casuals, right? You know what I mean? It's Finkel is not Einhorn in this case, so it's that's, right. And a lot of people don't understand that. We are so into the community, and you got to remember this gaming community is hardcore. It's hardcore. You're speaking. Hardcore, right. So I mean, like that's the one thing that you have to differentiate a lot of times in these conversations. And this GTFO one is just a great example of Fork by saying, well, casuals wouldn't dig it. Wilmy's right. Casuals wouldn't know it exists for the most part.
Yeah.
But luckily, if you're playing on PC, it makes it pretty easy to to integrate Discord because it actually gives you the option when you open up the game.
Right.
And I'm not knocking the game. Anybody that's listening,
No. Your point's valid.
He's knocking it. He's knocking it.
It's fork. I mean, we just kind of expect that kind of shit.
If it's not Anthem, it's trash.
Exactly.
And
$700
stay
fucking
tuned.
dollars on that game.
Stay tuned.
He's a
for our
hardcore fanboy of Anthem.
Yeah, stay tuned for our live web podcast from E3 when we tie Fort Boy up and put him in a closet.
That's
Wow.
gonna be interesting. Yes.
I'm bringing my own rope.
E3 for you,
I am bringing
See
my own
Fort
rope.
Boy's coverage of EA.
We are going to lock Fort Boy in a janitor's closet during E3.
You know, you threaten to touch just a couple people, and they threaten to tie you up.
Well, my
I'm not even
wife.
paying them.
Well, you may like it.
I know.
I mean, we've already got this plan, dude. We've
Already got the
me, Ghost.
duct
I was
tape.
wondering why Ghost and Bomber was so eager to share a bed, a hotel with me. They're like, "Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
this makes it that much easier."
Yeah. Remember when
No
you
big
went to
deal.
camp when you were in elementary school? Yeah, it's gonna be like that.
So a counselor's gonna touch me?
No, we're gonna shave your
Yeah.
head, cover you with peanut
Yeah.
butter or some shit, drop fire ants all over you. I mean, we've got all sorts of ideas already. So,
Oh, yeah.
it's gonna be fun. At least for
Yay!
the three of us, anyway.
Oh well.
And we'll have to stream it to Leo because he can't be there with us. But it's gonna be fun for all.
No
of us.
offense to you guys or anything, but I would prefer not to go to something like that.
To E3
You
or
can be the
to...
you can be the cameraman, man.
You be the most excited.
No,
person
no,
in
I know
the
what happens to
cast.
the cameraman. No, thank you.
All right,
Yeah,
well,
you get to clean up.
let's
I've heard the
Pee
horror
afterwards.
stories.
let's talk about what came out today. Ninja Theory's new project.
Yes.
So, what's everyone's thoughts on this one? Because I'm gonna be honest, I've had a really long day. I haven't had a chance to dig into this thing yet.
It's a VR game. Ree!
I'm excited for just the fact that they're just making another pretty mature game of whatever this is going to be. I mean, it's one person, one place that you're going to be in, and I don't know what it all entails, but I mean, Hellblade has already shown me that they can do the freaking work right. That this is going to be even probably more in depth, more just in the mind kind of setting. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely intrigued by it. If anything, it's unique. You know, it's something nobody else is making. Nobody is going to these lengths to talk to all these, psychologists and all this stuff and get as much information as they can to try to address these issues. So I mean, I think it's gonna be awesome, and I'm happy Ninja Theory's at the helm of it, because I like the fact that their whole vision is to take new tech and make new experiences from that tech, and that's the thing I like about Ninja Theory right now. So I'm definitely down for it, and this also gives a lot of openness to possibly them pushing a AR VR narrative eventually. Like whenever this is to become, maybe we see VR and AR finally on the console in the PC space is what I think it's going to be more directed to.
So, did anybody else here at first realize that was in-game footage? Because for me, I didn't. I was wondering what, like, it was some studio shots or what the hell was going on. I had no idea.
Is that
it was all
confirmed? I didn't know if that was confirmed.
Yeah, and they
I
said
don't know
that
if it's
is ray traced.
that's full ray trace and all that. Yeah,
Oh wow!
yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah,
I had no idea. I had to go back and watch it again. I was like, shut the hell up. That's not what that looked. I mean, what the...
Oh,
looking
yeah,
at it again,
and-
I was like, the side-by-side pictures, I was like, holy shit, it is.
Oh
I mean,
yeah, like it reminded me
granted,
of
it's a
like how
small-
PT
it's a small
came out.
room, but still, I mean, I had to do it. It had me fooled again. I thought they were
Oh,
just doing
absolutely.
some B-roll.
Hey, at first I did too, because they use the same stairs as what they have in their studio.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, "Is this real?" No. Oh. And so it's definitely cool, and it reminds me of something like PT that Kojima was making for a minute, and then that didn't happen. But it kind of reminds me of that small setting, so much detail to really make you feel like you're there or whatever. So I mean, I can see this definitely as a VR space and really make you really feel like you're wherever they're wanting you to be.
Mhm.
So I'm kind of I am excited. I mean, I don't know if it's VR. It's just a first person kind of thing, because of course it's just a project as of right now. So can't wait till we kind of get more from them. Definitely.
Could you imagine Hellblade in VR? Jesus.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow, that would be insane.
I mean,
I had a
first of
hard
all,
enough
the
time
voice
being
is already
downstairs by
my
myself
God.
with the lights off with that one.
Absolutely,
It's
absolutely.
in VR now.
Oh, is it what? Oh, it is, ain't it? On PS? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
on PSVR, ain't it?
No, it's
No.
well, it's on Steam.
Oh, is it
It's
on Steam? VR?
That's why me and Mooch, we were sitting back going, what?
Yeah, I'm like, it already is, guys. I mean,
Oh,
yeah, no, my thing, and again, I agree with Obi-Wan and I agree with Bomber. This is exciting. I got to tell you, no, of all the acquisitions that Microsoft did, Ninja Theory is by far the I think the shiny moment. I think Playground Games is the second best. But the thing about it is, I think if you guys have been gaming as long as I have, in the VR space, I'm very, very intrigued, extremely intrigued and excited. Like I actually can't wait. Right. So with that, I will tell you that really gets me excited. Now, the one thing about it that I would say just keeps me questioned is, and Wilmy and a couple of guys that are old time gamers like myself will kind of remember when Sega CD came out or anything. They were trying,
Yes.
Right. So when you get these games that are so realistic, and we listen, guys, we are going into 2020, so things have changed, and I get that. But as you get these things that are so using the power of the box to do so much of this photorealism and the ray tracing and the lighting, generally they're puzzle games. It's like you go down the hall, it's a jump scare. It'll be like Outlast, but photorealistic. And that, again, you might go, so what's the problem with that? The answer is nothing. But myself personally, I always say blockbuster games, like I always kind of attribute them to, would you take a day off for work to play this game because you're so excited for it? Not that game. But then again, we don't know. That's a project, right? We don't know. Like Red Dead Redemption 2, you take the day off. The Last of Us 2, you take the day off. Halo Infinite, you take the day off. A side project with 35 people working on it at Ninja Theory, I need to see more. But you put this thing in a VR space, wow, this thing's amazing. This is just like, this is going to knock your socks off. Maybe you might not be able to sleep for days after this.
See, that's why I told you, Mooch, the Rift S, in my opinion, and I own both the Quest and the Rift.
Yes.
If you can go for the Rift, to me, it's way above and beyond the Quest. Because, and I know, I gave Boomstick, he got the Quest. And he loves it because it's completely wireless. I mean, you can go anywhere with this thing and, just use it. I don't mind being strapped to my PC with the Rift because everything just runs so much better and the games are so much better.
Well, Wilmy, I gotta go ahead and be your defense attorney here and say you're 100% right. So thanks again. I've publicly said this. Thank you to the great Wilmy Hood for gifting me that. The Rift S is absolutely it's a spectacle. It's changed my mind on VR. First of all, number two, I will say this much. So family members of mine have the Quest, and they're like, "You're really missing out on the portability of this thing." And I said, I get where. And again, I'm going to sound like Wilmy's parakeet here, but I got to be honest with you, it's true. I tried it and it's great. It's amazing how not being tethered is that free movement, that thing that we've all been craving for. But the graphical and just the fidelity that your PC puts out, like, it's just unbelievable. It's day and night. I got to agree with Wilmy. I don't mind having the one cord that comes out behind you, and the way that now that the system is, the Quest does it and the Rift S, you outline your game room. In my case, my office. And you're not gonna, you won't bang into anything. You won't exit that let's call it your safe space. That you won't exit that safe space for any such reason, because then the camera kicks on and you can see your room. So ultimately, I will say, Wilmy, you're 100% right. If you guys only have the means of getting a Quest, get the Quest. But if not, and you can get the Rift S, if I could be any kind of decision maker or lean you one way or the other, the Rift S is just hand over fist better.
And don't do like a friend of mine did. He tried the Oculus Go. The Go is a cheap little, it's basically for videos. I I don't even know if there's any games you can actually play on that thing.
I mean, anytime I hear the word "go" and it's related to video games, I'm more thinking I'm
Really
sticking
bad.
my cell phone in there and
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
I'm like,
Yeah,
go
Noof
$200. It
Noof-
comes with no electronics. Oh.
Yeah, Noof said the same thing. It's a video VR. That's all it is. If you want to do like Fork and you want to watch Pornhub on it, then
I was
that's
like,
great.
Pornhub probably works.
Well, there
Yeah.
goes my
Okay,
money.
first of all, don't knock it until you try it. Okay, when you sleep on it, when you sit on your own hand, it becomes numb, and you're watching it. It's an experience that you should try.
Everybody loves The Stranger.
Stranger in VR is like, oh, hello.
Yeah, that
They
is
do
another
have
reason,
VR chat.
folks. If you've never been to this podcast, that is another reason we are locking Fork in the janitor's closet. At E3.
Just because I got a restraining order from Phil Spencer and multiple other developers means nothing.
And everybody on the panel except Mooch, and Mooch will probably file for one as soon as this podcast is over. I think Noof has one for you, and he's in Canada. They
Hey,
just
that's
said they would
okay.
shoot
He'll-
you at the border.
He'll fit right in with Merc's journey, though.
Oh yeah.
Hey, you ready to come over here? Let's talk about the secret sauce.
Oh God!
Oh, that's so
Are you
good.
making consoles or Big Macs?
Both.
But yeah, I mean, if you definitely got a choice, I mean, some people do really like the Quest, and like I said, I've got both. I just prefer my Rift S, and especially, you know, it's like Mooch said, some of these games, it's great to see them on your TV or on your computer monitor, but when you strap that headset on and you're actually in that world, it's just a whole other experience.
It really is, and for me, being a person that at the best was on the fence, it was kind of, it was something. It was game changing. You know, it's something you have to experience. Would I literally sit there and again? I want to reiterate what I said in my comment. If you're on the fence or you're teeter-tottering towards Quest or Rift S, I would say go Rift S. That doesn't mean if you're not in the market that I'm telling you to go spend money on it. Maybe it's not your bag. I get that. You know, I mean, you know, it's not for everybody, Wilmy. You know, it's not for everybody.
And see, for me, like I have changed to basically be a console only kind of guy now. Like I just don't have the means to be able to, you know, build a PC to get all that, you know, usage out of it. So I'm just ready for the next best VR option for consoles. Like, or
And
just maybe
there
it's
is-
just for PlayStation.
There is a good chance. I mean, there was a rumor going around that the new PlayStation 5 would have a wireless VR.
Yes.
And I would be definitely for that at that point, just because I just feel like, I don't know. I just feel like that would
Nobody's
just
talked about it in
benefit
a
me.
while, but there was that rumor we talked about.
Yeah,
Well,
you
you know they're
just-
going to make a second one.
Oh yeah.
Well, mind you, Xbox even said there won't be VR at launch. So they've never said they won't do VR. They said there will be no VR at launch. So
It's just,
Maybe
I'm
that's what
just,
that hidden port is.
yeah, I'm also just a little, I don't know. It's hard for me to just, I know they said they're not focusing on, then it's not really it's going to be half-assed when it does come out, maybe. I mean, I don't want to say that, but then I'm like, you know, PlayStation has already been in it for how many years now?
Well,
They're
what,
focused, so.
what Bomber
They've
is
already
really
said if they
trying to
do
say.
do it, it would be a third party. So I'm sure that it would be
yeah,
Oculus.
Yeah, it'd be like
is probably gonna
Oculus
do it.
or-
I mean, wouldn't it shock
They
you
already
if all of a
have an
sudden?
Xbox
And what
controller in
Bomber
their
is really
box.
trying
yeah.
to say is he is scared to put the headset on because he doesn't know when Fork will be sitting outside his window.
Hey, that too. Hey, plus, I'm a wuss anyway, so I mean, I don't see how any of y'all can play
Is
like
that
Resident
you,
Evil
sis?
7.
Is that you?
Gonna shut
Hey,
Bomber
now that
down
would
and
actually
put
probably work
VR
out well.
Resident Evil on him.
Wait a minute.
Listen to
You
him
just played
scream.
Resident Evil 7 in VR?
I haven't played Resident Evil 7 at all, just because hell no.
I
What?
thought I
I'm
had
a-
years,
dude, I'm a
years off
wuss.
my life.
You're a
from
big
playing
bad
Resident Evil.
Southern man with a beard. You're supposed to be.
I
not
don't
afraid
give
of
a
nothing.
shit. Yeah, that scares the
Man,
shit
there's a
out of me.
picture
Oh,
of
no, I'm
you
good.
and you and Bigfoot, man. You shouldn't be scared.
Well, hey, Bigfoot's cool though. He actually makes me sausage in the morning. So
Okay. Well, that was an interesting conversation. Yeah.
Okay.
No idea.
I had a hard enough time playing Resident Evil 2 remake just with headphones on.
well, see, Resident Evil 2 actually doesn't. That didn't.
Are you
Freak me
kidding
out
me,
at all.
man?
That's
Mr.
easy.
X, man, that dude shaved years off my life. The
See,
anxiety
I
he
never-
gave me.
I think
Considering
Resident
we
Evil
tired.
7 in VR is a bit.
Oh, God,
That'll
yes.
that'll make you take a step backwards.
Well,
I'll
see
tell you.
that. Yeah, that. See, that's what there ain't no way. Like I've just seen too many of the jump scares just by people playing it in regular mode. I'm like,
I got news for you. I completed that game and absolutely loved it. I believe it was 2017. That was my game of the year pick. And I'll be honest with you, I played that on Xbox, and that scared the shit out of me. And I was 12 feet away from the TV. Could you imagine? Right, that thing up in your face. That thing is
Mooch. You could
What?
yell at it and it would go away, dude. That's all you'd have to do.
What do you mean?
You could just yell at it, man, and it would leave you alone. Nothing's going to bother you.
I'll keep that in mind on my second playthrough.
Yeah, just hopefully your wife and kids aren't asleep when you you start yelling at it.
You start screaming.
Alexa, tell her to go away.
And speaking of, because we got to start getting into the stretch here to wrap this up. Resident Evil, I saw this today. Games Radar put it out. Resident Evil could finally be on the way. There are rumors of it coming. They're not giving a lot of details, but they're not really saying if this one's going to be VR or where this thing's going to be. But they are saying it may go back to Raccoon City, 1998. So I doubt it's going to be anything like Biohazard. And in other rumors that got squashed today, a lot of people are going to be pissed off about this one. There will be no Left 4 Dead 3.
That's disappointing.
Valve shut that down. They said, nope, not going to happen. You have a better chance of getting a new Half-Life 3.
So my message for Valve and the fucking douche hat that's running that place is to sell the fucking license, okay? Sell the license, give it to a competent studio and let them make the damn game, because honestly, this is bullshit. The fans have been asking for it. They were successful with the first two. What gives? And I mean, obviously, get in on the actual zombie games are all the rage because they're still flying off the shelves. So get in on it. What is wrong with these guys? So they don't like money, or are they just
Dude, they got Steam
passion projects, bro. That's all they want to focus on is passion.
Yeah, they got
projects.
Steam,
Bullshit.
man. I mean, you know,
Yeah,
Oh, God,
I know.
was it
They got lots of
Gabe?
money.
Gabe is sitting around fucking lighting cigars with $100 bills, man. He's wiping his ass with hundreds. He doesn't care.
Well,
at this
like I said,
point.
just sell.
Well, hell, the
sell
only
it,
reason
give
we
it to a
got new
competent dev.
Half-Life is they're trying to sell their index.
Yeah,
Right.
and the thing is,
And that worked.
I'm not sold on the index. I'm just not going to do it. I don't want the little,
Well, it's sold
devices
out
all
now.
over my room. Yeah,
I know,
I'm
for
not
me,
gonna do
for
that.
me personally, World War Z has filled my hunger for Left 4 Dead.
Actually, too, I don't know if Mooch saw it yet or anybody else in the chat. I was actually playing it over the weekend. There is a game that's really super similar to Left 4 Dead. It's called Last Year. And
I saw that.
It is the same exact concept. I mean, it's so close, it's creepy that they didn't get sued.
I did not see that, Wilmy. Is that
Because that's where you were saying, where's my PC players at, right?
Yeah.
Is that PC?
Yep, and it actually, believe it or not, Mooch, this one actually does, have matchmaking, everything built right in, chat's automatic.
Oh, I have to look into that.
It's like $19 on Steam.
I mean, I just loved Left 4 Dead. Why Valve? And I understand. I didn't see who said it. It's they're only working on passion projects, but I mean, that should be one of them. I mean, when people go down Valve's credentials, that's one of them. So I don't understand. And like Noof said, if you don't want to make it, shoot, sell it to Microsoft, because
sell it to somebody.
They got a team out there, and I think
They got multiple teams.
They would kill to have that.
Yeah.
Give it to Compulsion Games, man.
Yeah, give it to anybody.
Yeah,
except for
Compulsion's
maybe
that's good.
BioWare right now. I wouldn't give
Or
it to BioWare.
Overkill. Don't give it to Overkill.
Yeah, don't give it to BioWare right now. They need to redeem
Obsidian.
themselves. Or Bethesda, maybe not Bethesda.
Give it to the state. Give it to the State of Decay team and let them do the first person.
No!
Damn. Somebody.
Who is that?
Somebody just got scared by Resident
I've
Evil
literally
7.
played as many zombie genre games, and I've loved some. I've thought some were okay, and I still made through it. And I just wanted so much more out of State of Decay 2. I just wanted so much more.
I'm with you there, Mooch.
Everybody.
I really
wanted
put
more.
everything.
I
into
tried it.
man.
It just
I tried. I even went back to it. I played it when it first came out. Whatever I put in, whatever it was, 10 hours, etc. Then I said, you know what? This isn't fair. Shout out to Sully. Sully was in the chat earlier. Shout out to Sully. There he is. There's Sully. Sully's in the chat, and Sully goes, "Hey, what do you want? You want to play some State of Decay 2?" I go, "Absolutely." So we streamed it on Twitch, and I did it 2-3 nights in a row with him, and we played. And I said, Sully, he goes, Mooch, you tried. I go, I just can't. I go, this is just. It's not. I personally, again, it's just me. I didn't find it to be that much fun. Shout out to Sully. He's out there.
Yeah.
Sully's got like 7,000 hours into it. Yes, a comma's involved. Oh,
And the
God.
State of
But-
Decay.
I'm sorry. Horror-based games, horror survival games, and friggin' inventory management are not the most fun combination in the world. At least that's my take on it. Sorry.
Yeah, I played State of Decay one time with Dealer, and we had
Dude.
fun.
I thought
But-
we were friends.
I
Some
Love the
of
genre.
them do get overly tedious. I'll give you that. I mean, if you
I think
look at my
inventory.
Steam
I think
account,
inventory management, though, Wilmy, in zombie genre. I mean, look at it this way: if you go back and play the early Resident Evils, you had
That's all
to.
you
I mean, it was a
That's why I hate the
smaller,
Resident
right?
Evils.
Oh, you didn't
No,
like them?
Resident
Oh,
Evil
okay.
2
Yeah, I was thinking it was on a
isn't it?
smaller scale, but you had to preserve your green herbs and etc. You know what I mean? Like you
or
had to take
do
care
like
of.
ghosts and
Fucking
smoke
A,
them
you
right
did.
then when you found them.
Hey, that's different, but yeah.
So I mean, myself personally, I don't mind it. It was just, I think the thing with State of Decay for me was you're just getting out there, you're just starting something, and it's like, hurry back home. Yeah, no, somebody actually put a rusted nail to our only apple tree, and we have no more food. You got to come back. I'm like, I just dropped off 6 pizzas and
that's
14 dozen potatoes. What do you want me to do?
That's what
You
got
know,
on my
like-
nerves with it too. It was
That,
just
that
the
was
gas.
all the gas.
You were
was such-
constantly having to go back to the
That
base.
gas
'cause-
was driving me. nuts when I was
Margaret
playing
just
it.
ran out of fucking tampons and the smell
why-
of
yeah.
zombies. Get over here.
Yeah,
And why do I got to
as soon
keep
as you-
talking to Sheriff into getting up and doing a task? He's sitting there exhausted on the fold-out chair. He's like, no. I just went out and did one. I'm like, you haven't done shit, Sheriff.
like
And
AP
as soon as
said,
you
Billy
get like
pissed in
2
the
feet away
carrots.
from your base, they're like, "Oh, we need help with this."
That's where
this,
you're
this."
mistaken, Mooch. He's done the best of all. He found someone to do his work.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the king of all mooches. I should probably like.
He's like half the
absolutely.
workforce in America. Damn.
Fantastic. Yeah, right.
But I mean, it was true, man. Every time you would leave your base, I mean, you wouldn't even get just a little bit down the road or wherever, and they would automatically want you to come back.
Johnny just pissed in the Cheerios. Mooch, get back to base. Why?
And some of the weirdest
Why?
quests too. It's like food, medicine, zombie hearts. Wait, what?
Yeah.
What are
You're
you
like-
doing?
Even
Yeah,
worse.
and I really did try, man. I put a lot of hours.
I'm going to
in.
cure the zombies. It's like, then why didn't you do it beforehand?
Yeah. And why the fuck don't you go out and find the shit to do it with? I'm busy.
What
But-
the hell you need the zombie hearts for?
I'm a doctor, not a fighter. Well, you better learn.
Yeah, you gonna learn today, fucker.
You're
But-
coming with me. I'm just going to throw you in there.
But let's end this on a note that's going to really make Ghost happy, because it makes me very happy. Let's talk about Doom.
I was looking.
Yes, yes.
No spoilers about the last one. I gotta finish it.
Man,
You die at the end.
What?
did you guys read?
What about all the
article?
times in between?
Hey, there's a lot
Play
of blood.
nightmare mode, you die a lot.
I was gonna say I've died a lot.
I one of the things, Wilmy, about it that was, and it was funny. I put a tweet out there, and I was shocked to get so many responses. I thought it was funny. I actually retweeted somebody and added a comment, and the quote was that they actually are going to be making the Doom Eternal way longer than the original one. And I don't know about you
Yes.
guys.
It's
but I
like
just
3
look-
times as long.
I just looked up my stats because I beat that on the hardest level. I loved it, and I beat it in 51 hours. I played it for that long,
Good God.
and I don't even want to fathom this thing being double that.
Well,
They're
I'm
also
looking
adding
at.
story.
Are they actually also including like Doom 2? Because that had like 40 levels or something.
You get
Some of
Doom
those levels were
64
awesome.
with the pre-order.
Yep.
And see, I don't think it's going to matter to me because
'Cause-
I said it before. I got kind of bored. I jumped into Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I've gotten to the point I've done all the DLC except they keep adding more and more shit. And I finally got to the point last weekend. I'm like, I am done. I'm creeded out. I can't do it anymore.
You created
Yeah,
And
I was
and
created. I was created out in Assassin's Creed 1.
Yeah,
God
and
bless you.
I went through all the Atlantis DLC, which is kind of ironic because it really doesn't even go to Atlantis, And then when I got to Hades, I'm like, yeah, fuck this, man. Satan's just gonna have to do his shit by himself. I'm over it. But with Doom, I don't know if I would get that way.
There's actually a lot of people that got to play it early recently. Like
yeah, I actually watched. Listen, the Grump. They should instead of being called Giant Bomb, they should name them Grumpier Old Men.
Oh no shit.
Right, they're the grumpiest guys in gaming, and it's funny. You go back to the early part of this generation, it was hard for me to stomach those guys and listen to them, but now I actually go there, and I got to be honest with you, they're so critical of games that like I actually like to listen to them now because I'm like. They make some decent points if you can get through the first 15 minutes of their just bashing of everything, right? Like they'll get on tomorrow and be like, you know what? Thursday sucks. And they'll just go off on why Thursday sucks for like 10 minutes. You're like, dude, it's just Thursday. Relax. Let's get to the game. So once I get past that and I'm sitting there, Wilmy, I got to be honest with you. So my issue was they said they didn't just get as a segment or a tidbit to play. They said, play as much as you can. You can capture up to 3 hours, whatever it was. But
yeah,
the game's done. The guy said it.
Yeah.
He goes, they said the game. And then I immediately went right to my phone and I said, wait a minute, Doom Eternal release day. I thought it was in March. And it's March 20th.
Yeah, I was confused as hell too.
Why?
Like,
and don't get me wrong. I'm excited too. That's not too far away, but why not Tuesday? Why? If it's done, what are we doing? I mean, they could have the market. There's nothing coming out till Ori. I mean, this is, I don't know what they're waiting for. I mean, if it's the guy from Giant Bomb would have been, it's not done. It's not. I watched their game clips. It's absolutely polished to the nines.